Hey guys, welcome to my channel, and I have my Peavey mixer set up here along with my studio microphone so you can hear me, but I have my VB2 connected via the DI XLR out to the mixer, and what we're going to do is we're going to listen to the clean and dirty channels so we can hear the difference with the big bottle Electro-Harmonix 6CA7s in there. Now, one thing I noticed was that the DI out has two settings, pre and post EQ. Pre means that it's going to go and grab the signal right off the input, and post means it's going to be after the EQ, but it ends right here. So anything that you put in the effects loop is not going to go out to the DI out, which I thought was interesting because I believe my VB3 is the opposite, where anything in the effects loop will actually go through the DI out if you set it to post EQ. But that's not a big deal. We're really wanting to hear the difference of these tone controls with the EQ and the two channels, the clean and the dirty. So what we're going to do is set that up, and I'm going to start playing, and let's try this out. Okay, I zoomed you guys in a little bit so you can see the preamp settings. I have my clean gain at 7, and the crunch channel is going to be at 6 when we test that out. Lows at 8 and mids at 6, boosting the 800 hertz range, and the highs are actually cutting at 4, and I left the presence and the resonance control flat just for the sake of checking this out. And what you are hearing in the background here is my microphone, but also the DI out is active at post EQ. And if I turn off the mic, as I get closer to the mic, I'm going to turn down this volume. Listen to the DI. The DI is actually extremely quiet, and my bass is all the way down, so you're not really getting any signal from there. But here's the DI just by itself. That gives you an idea. It's a very quiet, good signal to noise ratio. Now I'm going to turn off the microphone, and we're going to listen to the bass. I'll turn up the bass a little bit here. So this is both my P and J pickup all the way up, and the tone all the way up. So let's give this a try. Microphone's going off. So you're hearing a little buzzing from my J pickup if I go close to my computer. But if I turn off that J pickup, which I did, you hear a little bit of buzzing. Not too bad though. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set it to the crunch channel and see what we can do. Turning off the mic. And I'm going to hit. Move away from the amplifier. You could hear a little bit of buzzing coming from that J pickup, but it isn't the best. So let's go ahead and turn off the mic and play through the crunch channel. And I'm going to alternate between my fingers and a pick. And now what I'm going to do is find an extra pick that I can use. Hold on, let me find that picture. Okay, I'm back. I just had to find a pick here. I should have a whole bunch of them around, but it just wasn't in reach. Mic's going off. Let's try some pick action here. Well, I hope that gives you guys an idea of what the Electro Harmonix Big Bottle 6CA7 power tubes will sound like. And I've done modest settings here for this particular sound demo, so I know that it can get a lot dirtier pretty quickly. And I'm not really too much of an overdrive player. I do like having a little bit of grit, but I'm just extremely impressed on how clean this particular tube amp is, considering all the headroom that you have before the amplifier starts to break up. And again, I'm running at 26 milliamps a tube per the recommendation of John Fields, and very, very happy with how this is sounding. And again, from the front of the house here, or I should say in front of the amplifier speakers here, it is very quiet. You know, I'm not running the 210 right now. The master volume is down, as you can see, and that particular section of the amplifier is extremely quiet when there's no signal going through it. I'm very happy with the Electro Harmonix tubes. Some people may not like it. If you may want to go for something a little bit grittier that breaks up sooner with the preamp drive, but I really like the clean headroom, and I can always use a modeling bass pedal to get a little bit more different tones out of it, although it would be outside with the speaker cabinets there, not through the DI out. But the DI is extremely quiet. And now we're going to go and jump over to the VB3, and this has the original Ruby tubes in it. We're going to let it warm up and give that a try. All right, now we have the VB3 all powered up, and same settings, although what I have unique with the VB3 is that it has this graphic EQ, which this one does not. I'm going to leave that off for the moment. And we have the lows set to 8, mids at 7, boosting the 800 hertz, and the highs cutting a little bit. And right now we are on the clean channel, and each of the clean and overdrive channels are going to be set to 5. Again, very modest settings. I'm not much of an overdrive player, but this amplifier I found can get a lot grittier much quicker than the VB2, and that could just be because it has the Ruby tubes in it. I'm going to turn off the mic here and let you listen to the noise floor of the VB3's repaired DI out, which I had completed a couple months back. As you can hear, it is very quiet. That is post EQ, and that's with the bass all the way down. Now what we're going to do is we're going to increase my volumes both up and then tone all the way up. As you can hear, the fan, that's kind of the trade-off that you get. There's a fan inside the power supply blowing into the main compartment where the power tubes are, and then there's a fan up on top taking the hot air out. And I know it's going to get pretty warm in my room pretty quick because of that. But that is the trade-off that you get for having an amplifier that only weighs 37 pounds. It's pretty awesome. All right, let's turn the mic off, and we're going to play a couple clean lines here. Okay, not my best playing, I will admit, but gives you an idea of what the clean channel sounds like. Now, I'm listening to this as I play on my headphones, and I am hearing ever so slight of a underlying distortion, but it's not a bad distortion. It's actually, it could just be the tubes. I did bias this last year to about 26 milliamps a tube, and these tubes are original to this amplifier, so that's from June of 2010. It's had very little use, and I'm the second owner. My guess is that that's just the tubes aging, but they are properly biased. I think it sounds great for a tube amp from a clean channel. Let's try the dirty channel. And I'll let you listen to the noise floor with that. Let me turn off the mic. All right, again, you hear that J pickup. Turn it off, and then you won't hear it anymore. Overall, I'm seeing that the VB3, in my opinion, from what I'm hearing on my headphones, is a little bit grittier with the dirty channel, and it does tend to respond quicker with breaking up sooner than the VB2. And I would say that is to be expected, given that from my experience anyway, with Ruby tubes, not just in this amplifier, but those tubes tend to have more of a mid-range bite, if you will, and the big bottle Electro-Harmonix 6CA7s tend to have more of a lot of headroom, very clean, but bottom heavy, a lot of low end, and a little bit of low mid-range as well, and just a ton of power with those particular tubes. So, and I'm sure if I was to ever change out these tubes to big bottle Electro-Harmonix for the VB3, that I would likely get similar results. But that's the kind of tone that I like to go for, and if I really wanted to go crazy with the overdrive, then let's give that a quick demo here, and we'll finish up this part of the video. Okay, that is very overdriven. That is about as dirty as that I'm actually comfortable with before it just starts sounding a little ridiculous. Now, this entire time I've had this EQ bypass, and I usually give a little bit of boost to the 250 to 800 hertz range and kind of give that little smiley curve. Now, there is an issue with this particular, the VB3, where one of the preamp tubes would cause the ICs in this graphic EQ to clip if you do some extreme settings like that. And it can be fixed, but I don't believe I've ever needed to go that crazy. This has 15 dB of boost and also cut. I'll do a modest EQ here, and let's engage it here. A little extra white noise, but that could also be from the fan. Let me turn off the mic. Again, that fan, what you're hearing, is from my room microphone. If I turn off the mic, you're hearing a little bit of it. Here's the clean channel. So that is a very nice addition with the graphic EQ. Graphic EQ hasn't really been my thing. I know Peavey has always had a lot of basically an EQ like that on most of their amplifiers. I've done well with a semi-parametric EQ, kind of similar to what the Mini Mega has, but it does really good for the frequency bands that it is designed to boost or cut. All right, and then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do an extreme EQ here, which I'm probably also going to have to adjust my DI out so that that doesn't clip. So let's do something crazy, and let's just boost everything that I could expect to boost here in the mid-range to really get that gritty tone, and still keep some of the bottom end there. But I'm just going to go for the clean channel first, and then this is likely going to expose one of the limitations that can be corrected with this VB3. You'll hear the ICs clip a little bit. So I've zoomed out a little bit here, and what I'm going to do now is just do an extreme EQ setting here. And what you're going to hear, so let's really boost it in the 250 to 800, a little bit of a drop off shelf here between the 1.6 and 3.2, and then a modest boost on the low end, and kind of kept this 3-band the same. I don't have it engaged, but this is the problem if you start to really boost with this graphic EQ. You're going to hear the noise floor increase. And if I turn off the mic here, all right. Again, not terrible, but let's hear the clean channel and go from there. Bring down my attenuator a little bit lower since I didn't want to clip the DI out coming into the mixer, so that's why it dropped a little bit. Hear that clipping? That's from one of the tubes is overdriving the input of the EQ IC there. So unfortunately, that's what you get with that kind of extreme setting. If I bring it back down to something more reasonable, so if I go a little bit like there, and I'm not boosting nowhere near 15 dB for each of those, and I'll increase my attenuator a little bit, and then that same line you won't hear it clip anymore. Hear the difference? Again, I believe that's supposed to be a 12AX7, that if you put a 12AX7 in V3, that will actually prevent the EQ from clipping. What's supposed to be in there is a 12AT7, and that has apparently too much gain. It really kind of depends on the tubes that you use, but I believe the alpha bass amplifier still had that same problem. But again, I don't have to boost EQ like crazy there, but if you really wanted to, the amplifier would have to be modified in order to do so, and I don't know how many people would actually go about doing that. Still, it sounds great for getting 300 watts of tube power in 37 pounds. Alright guys, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you so much to everyone for watching. I know this video got a little bit longer than I expected, but hopefully the sound demos direct from the XLR outs will give you an idea of what these amps sound like and could sound like, and really appreciate you watching the video on there. I really made this video for the Peavey enthusiasts out there, and it really is a testament to how well these amplifiers are built. They're made in America, some of the last made in America amplifiers that Peavey made, and they're all tube power, and the very unique VB3 with 300 watts of tubes and only weighing 37 pounds. That certainly saves your back. The VB2 only has 225 watts, but it weighs 57 pounds because it's got the traditional heavy iron transformers in there. I like moving the VB3 around, but that's such a unique and rare amplifier these days. Are becoming very difficult to find, that I don't want to take it on every single gig anymore. It's more for taking on those special gigs that you really want to get that sound. And the VB2 has been a good workhorse for me, and even my Max 700. But if there's any questions, if you would like to see a different setting, I'd be more than happy to make another video on it and comment what you'd like to see. And always on the hunt for even the more rare VB-MA, or the Michael Anthony version of the VB3. That amplifier is so difficult to find, and it only comes up for sale once every couple years, and it doesn't seem to stay on the market for very long. But it's the main difference with that amplifier is that the overdrive and the clean channels actually have a blend knob rather than a channel switch like the VB2 and the VB3 do. And I'm very curious to see how that would sound, because even with the overdrive channel, you do lose a little bit of overall volume and a little bit of bottom end, but that can be easily brought back by adjusting your EQ. I'm very curious to see how that blend knob would work. But other than that, thank you so much again for watching, guys. Cheers.